Welcome back, everyone. It's Christy here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of November 14th through to the 21st. I'm doing these readings during the weekend where the moon is moving through both Leo and Virgo. So I'm going to be focusing the theme around talents and opportunities for your sign. So this is a general reading. Whatever is most prominent in your life, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to. And I hope that you find them helpful and healing. So what does Pisces need to know about talents and opportunities this week? Oh, lovely to see for you. I think it's going to be a fairly relaxing week with regard to talents and opportunities. You could be coming up to an element within your own heart, within your own mind and consciousness of coming to terms with something about yourself. Not that this is a terrible thing or that you have to, again, this is talents and opportunities. We're not working on forgiveness work here or even healing work necessarily. This is about you really coming to terms with, the heart and soul of who you are here. And I'm just reading this beautiful, receptive, observant, fair person who is very interested in being fair, very interested in being liked, but also being that liked and fair person. I think you also have come to terms that there's a central element to your life with regard to talents and opportunities for you this week, Pisces, regarding the way that you interpret the world. In other words, if we say something enough, it kind of comes true for us, right? We sort of tend to start to believe it. And this is where I see you maybe even convincing yourself of some things that possibly other people have told you that you're really good at or you would be really good at, or to even look into, like, have you ever thought of doing this? And for whatever reason, you've brushed it off or put it to the side, and God knows we're all busy and we have to put certain things off that are important to us for any variety of reasons, and there doesn't need to be judgment involved there. You have your reasons, but there could be some energy this week around getting to the source of what you feel you might want to get involved in, or something that is maybe a soul project for you, or a real heart project for you, something that has to do with an overarching sense of receptivity, right? A sense of you've taken everything in and now you're sort of watching the world around you. Where do you fit in all of this? And just overarchingly feeling as though you're protected, which is a really beautiful way to go about self-development and self-care and self-acknowledgement, right? Like, who are you in the world? What talents and opportunities are you bringing into the world? And really feeling confident and sure in those. Maybe for the first time in a long time, maybe for the first time ever. So here with Observer, this represents you. This is you really taking a look at the world around you, taking a look at where you belong in the world as opposed to where you were put, right? A position that you were put in that maybe was not necessarily uncomfortable, but wouldn't have been the first choice for you. But it gave you leverage in the sense that it gave you opportunity to look around you and to gauge where you want to be as opposed to where you currently are. Here we have one major symbolism regarding the egg. This is a real gestational moment for you. By virtue of observing the world around you, we can now understand our place in it, right? Observing really gives us an opportunity to acknowledge what's happening outside of ourselves, and so that we're not always projecting, we're not always emoting, we recognize that we are a member of society, a member of groups, or even, relationships, and that nothing is necessarily being done to you, or you're not necessarily doing something to somebody else, but that this is a symbiosis. This has to go both ways. It has to, even if we're speaking strictly about yourself, whenever I talk about relationships, of course, we include the self, right? This could be, observing your own personal practices or your own personal narrative, right? The story you tell about yourself. Or including stories you tell yourself about limits regarding talents and opportunities. But in the same vein, also, what fires you up? What gets you excited when you look at the world around you, and what can you offer that? And the only way to really do that is to look at the world around you. And this is you this week. So you're going to be comfortable doing that this week. The beautiful part about this is that it will be as a receptive person. This is a week where you're observing, but not just for the sake of observing, say like the Sagittarius, someone who's going to be stroking that pretend beard as the philosopher. You're just going to theorize about everything. No, that's not what's going on. This is a very personal, emotional even concept for you. This is about how you feel, right? You're observing the world around you, but ultimately because it makes you feel and act a certain way. But again, not in terms of emoting, about how you fit into relationships. So yin, of course, is the other side of the yang symbol in the ancient Chinese symbol. And yin is technically the feminine or receptive side. But recall, this isn't about weakness. This is truly about strength. You could even be emotional this week about something you're observing about others and yourself. But it is a release, right? Remember that being emotional or being receptive isn't automatically a weakness, and it ought not to be treated as one. Society has sort of hammered into us that is what it's for, and that's all it's for, and that's all it's good for, etc. So we tend to deny this, right? Or we tend to undermine this. Or worse, somehow demonize this. Like if you have feelings about something, or if you're deeply, taken by something, or captivated by something on an emotional or receptive level, or something really, hits you in the heart, that's considered, automatically wrong somehow in society. But I think you're figuring it out, or you have figured it out, that this is actually one of your strengths. I mean, you are one of the 3 water signs. You're naturally psychic, you're naturally emotional, healthy emotional, and you're also perceptive, incredibly perceptive about the world around you. You also really like to help. You also really like to do for others. So this could just be an element of what are you doing for others, and what are they doing for you, and just observing and finding your ground in that, so that you're not taken advantage of, or you don't you don't allow for people to take advantage of that, but that you're not just emoting or projecting from, say, a previous experience. This is you being perfectly aware of each experience and of each relationship and each conversation, as it were, so that you can state very clearly, this is reality, this is what's going on, so that it doesn't feel like it's all in your head, right? Or it doesn't feel like it's just your imagination and you're reading into things. No. You're absolutely looking at things as exactly as they are, using your inborn talents of receptivity and psychic awareness, and ultimately, perceptiveness. You're very perceptive. So I would trust what you're picking up in the atmosphere this week, and especially with regard to how it makes you feel. This is what you want to trust. By the book is your probable outcome. This is you really finding how to relate to others in the best way that you see fit and according to what you're learning from observing others. It might even be switched up. You might even switch up directions here with, who's in charge and so forth. But if you find, and it won't surprise me too much, but it might surprise you, if you find that you weren't the leader in a relationship or in a certain setting and you quickly become one, it'll be because all people trust you. It won't just be because, you've said that you're really good at this and people are just going to believe you. No, it's because you've absolutely proven that you are the person to lead something here. You're the person you might even be someone's go-to person. Someone can trust you with their emotions, with something that's considered receptive or feminine to them. Someone really could be turning to you because you have your faculties around this manner, right? You've done the work around that. You're not just like a sounding board. You're not just there for everyone to dump on and then you don't have feedback, or you're not just doing that for yourself, like observing the world around you and then, it's all for naught because you won't take your own recommendations. This is you really listening heavily to yourself and to your ability to listen to other individuals and the way that they treat you, the way that you treat them, and ultimately how you feel when you're within someone's company. And and then just using that in each situation in the fairest way possible, right? Even if you have something on somebody, you're not going to use it against them. And you certainly won't let anyone use anything that they have on you, especially if it's an emotional matter here. If they tried, put your foot down. Don't let them do that. Here with blessed is your general energy for the week. And this is really just looking at feeling safe and secure to be in this space to begin with. This could be the first time in a long time for you, Pisces, where you have felt that, everything is safe. You are safe to go within. You are safe to look at the world around you and your place in it, and where you really belong and what kind of order you want things to go in here. What do you want to lead? What do you want to take the back seat on? And that's okay. It just has to be whatever you feel comfortable with, as opposed to, being forced into something or being told by somebody else, or again, having your own narrative growing up, being that, having emotions or being receptive is automatically negative here. You can switch that story up for yourself now and say, no, I am comfortable as this person and I am very receptive and I do trust my own judgment or my intuition. And that's a really nice release. That's going to feel probably very freeing, but it'll also feel like you've sort of achieved next level understanding, right? You understand yourself better, you understand other people and your place in the world. But it all had to come through, your own endeavor. You had to figure this out for yourself. Here with elk and hawk, we have both messenger and then self-esteem. This is gorgeous. Not really surprised to see this at all. Yes, your self-esteem is heightened here. No doubt. This is a pure understanding of yourself and your place in the world. Not having to make excuses for being a sensitive person. You're using it to your advantage and you make no bones about it. And you'll find that your people in your immediate surroundings will appreciate this about you. And here with hawk as messenger, you may be called upon to be a messenger to someone else at this time, or someone might be turning to you for some advice because they're aware that you have this enormous self-awareness here, and you're very fair and you do like to exhibit fairness here. So if there's an issue, and look what we have, truth and integrity. So if there is an issue surrounding truth and integrity this week, trust that you can get through this. If someone is bringing it to your attention and they need help, for example, trust that you can help them. Just make sure that you want to, right? Don't feel pressured into this. But yeah, and then with answered prayer, really feeling like you have what it takes. Look, being blessed, answered prayer, self-esteem, messenger. You could be acting as one, or someone is being brought into your life this week with regard to the theme of talents and opportunities to act as a messenger for you. Someone can bring you good news or let you know that you're on the right path somehow. And then again, truth and integrity. This is really an exceptionally high calling for any sign. Anytime we see truth and integrity is just automatically a beautiful state of wellness, okay? So understand that you are currently within a state of mental and psychological, possibly spiritual wellness. Truth and integrity is your best teacher. It's also your best guide. And again, answered prayer, 100%. If you feel as though something is beyond reach right now, ask for prayer, ask for help, ask for assistance at this time, and I do believe that it will be given to you. So if you have a second, comment below. I love hearing from you. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel. That's free to do that. And if you like the video, leave a like. That really helps me out. So I hope you appreciated and enjoyed this reading, Pisces. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.